All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Heroes Connect Military to Manufacturing event. We're here today talking with a company who is actively seeking military talent. So, these events were designed to help the broader military community better understand and get to know the manufacturing and supply chain industries and debunk some of those myths that are associated with our industries. So, let me also introduce myself. I'll be moderating today's event. My name is Katie Bowerman. I'm a program manager with the Manufacturing Institute, and I oversee two of the Heroes Make America 100% virtual military skill bridge training programs that we offer. And I'll show you those training pathways in just a moment. So today we're featuring one of our Heroes Make America sponsor companies, one that we love, WestRock. So I'm excited for you all to learn more about this company and see how they can be part of your next career chapter. Before I introduce our first speaker, I do want to cover some general guidelines just to make sure we're all on the same page. First off, the event is being recorded, so we'll send it out as in an email for a recap, so you can view it later if you missed something or if you want to forward it on to someone who may have missed the presentation. So with that being said, please stay muted throughout the presentation just to make sure that we minimize any background noise on the recording. But even though you're muted, I want you to still be an active participant. Feel free to utilize that chat feature. So if you've got any questions throughout the presentation, don't hesitate to throw them in there. We're going to hold questions till the end, but I will revisit the chat box and ask any of those questions that have come up. We also will afford you the opportunity to come on live and ask those questions during the Q&A session as well. But really, events like this are your opportunity to learn about these companies and talk with folks that you normally may not have access to. So to get started on that chat feature and to make sure that we're all on the same page, I want you all to open that chat box and drop in if you are going to be job searching. So like, let's say, yep, I'm going to be looking in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. I want you to drop in the location that you're going to be job searching. Okay. That will help our presenters know, where everyone is at. If they've got plant locations, they can reach out to you individually. So in the chat box, drop where you're going to be job searching. While you're doing that, I do want to highlight the Manufacturing Institute's Heroes Make America Skill Bridge program. So we do have a lot of our students on the call, but these events are open. We have other military affiliated participants, company representatives, community partners from across the country who are joining us today. So you may not know what Heroes Make America is. So, who are we and what are we? So we're a DoD approved skill bridge program that is opening to transitioning service members, veterans, military spouses, and we provide a variety of certification trainings equipping you for rewarding careers in the manufacturing and supply chain industries. So our students learn a variety of topics and things like safety, quality practices, technical trainings like electrical, mechanical, pneumatic, hydraulic training. And then we've got a huge new section in the logistics and supply chain area, right? So we got some of those trainings as well. So you can see here the program managers, the trainings that we offer, as well as upcoming class dates that will be kicking off in the new year. So we'll drop our contact information to the chat box. You can contact any one of us, or we've got the general heroes at nam.org. I do want to point out we have in-person and virtual options. So if you are looking for a skill bridge program, we can talk through what our options are through Heroes Make America. So we are a dynamic program. In addition to our Skill Bridge offerings, we host other virtual events that are open to the community just to learn about the industry. So we have other Heroes Connect events with other companies. We have veteran learning series that we go over topics for career readiness type of training. And then a big one that we offer are quarterly virtual career fairs where we have about 30 companies that come on during this virtual career fair. And our next one is scheduled for February 23rd. So mark your calendar. Registration is not open yet, but February 23rd, that is when our next one is. So just mark your calendar, get those resumes ready for that event. All right, without further ado, let's move on to the main feature. Okay, to kick us off, what I want to do is show you a video to learn about WestRock and the partnership, the strong partnership that we have through the Manufacturing Institute, through the Heroes program with this company. So I'm going to show the video and then we'll bring on our WestRock speakers. Okay, so let's go ahead and start that.
Manufacturing is the backbone of the U.S. economy. It is also the backbone, though, of communities, and it's allowing people to live their best lives. The Manufacturing Institute is a nonprofit entity that works with manufacturers and educational entities all across the country to make sure that we can build, strengthen, and diversify the manufacturing workforce for today and tomorrow. We are really working to add to the population, to the supply of worker talent, and we do that through a number of programs engaging women and veterans and military, as well as people who are looking for a new career.
The Women Make Initiative is an opportunity for employers and peers to celebrate rock star women in their companies that are making big contributions both to the company and in their community. The program provides tools, motivation, and a network to help women grow themselves and bring other women into the industry as well. The Women Make program has been around for over a decade and has a very strong foundation, so it is time to grow. The next 5 years, I think we'll work closely with our partners like WestRock and other manufacturers to really leverage those relationships and widen and deepen the impact that we can have.
Heroes Make America is that integral pin between taking a soldier who has known their life of being a soldier and introducing them back into the civilian world, but giving them their skills and knowledge of a world that we don't even usually realize exists. The whole concept of manufacturing you never really introduced, and Heroes Make America helped me realize what was going on behind the scenes. And so it became this new world, new interest, new adventure. The biggest thing was my fear of getting out of the military. It gave me a group of individuals, a team, a classroom, where we were all transitioning out. If I didn't have Heroes Make America, I'm not sure what I would have been doing. And so it allowed me that, hey, don't worry, everything's gonna work out. And here's who's gonna help you. And WestRock became one of those that helped me out.
The FAME program is a great program that lets the student earn money while they go to school. They could learn and then also go to the workplace and the environment and kind of hands-on and kind of put two and two together. Because you can read anything all day long, but then when you apply it, it's a whole different world. I think the FAME program is a magnificent opportunity because you have students wanting to participate and be a part of the bigger picture. They want to be part of the industry. They're looking for a company to sponsor them, like Stefan, for instance. You know, walked them through here, never seen a manufacturing facility before. I'll do anything you want me to, you know. I get to go to school, I get to make a little money, and that goes a long way to help them with something that they want to do. I would recommend FAME to all WestRock facilities because I think it's a great opportunity to get the employee you want.
The FAME program allowed me to get hands-on experience here a lot. You know, I would be the apprentice and they would tell me what to do, whether it be changing steam joints or replacing pumps, changing motors and gearboxes. You know, they would tell me, okay, this needs to be done. Gradually over time, they needed to intervene less and less and less, and now I'm at a point where I can pretty much do it all. I came in with absolutely no knowledge. So it was really nice just to get my hands on the machine and see the way it worked. It's a real easy, accessible way for someone to first get their feet into manufacturing.
WestRock has been a fantastic partner, coming in and saying, here's what we need, and here's what we're seeing, and here's what our experience is on the ground. Those are the partnerships that make us all stronger. And so WestRock has been a fantastic partner and a key advisor as we grow to strengthen the overall sector. Benefit to WestRock as a company, but it's also strengthening manufacturing.
All right. I love that video. Just shows the many partnerships that we have with WestRock and the different training programs and just things that we've done with the company. So I love it. So let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to bring on Jennifer Allen to talk through WestRock and introduce her team. So Jen, you want to come on?
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. Before I get started, on behalf of WestRock, I want to recognize those of you on the call that have served and are actively still serving. We appreciate your sacrifices and military service. And we are thrilled to be here today to talk about WestRock. We will be sharing the current state of the pulp and paper industry within manufacturing, and we'll discuss career opportunities at WestRock. And as you can see by the photos of our WestRock team, we have a sharp group on the call today to include employees from various departments across the nation. Many on the call are veterans from different services that have transitioned their careers from the military into the manufacturing industry. We also have several team members participating that are part of our veteran resource group at WestRock, which we call WVET. And of course, we are all veteran allies and advocates as we share information in support of your transition to the manufacturing industry. We are all extremely passionate about assisting military, veterans, and spouses with your transitions into the civilian sector. I'm excited about our presentation today, and with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Chris Amato to get started with the company overview. Chris?
Thanks, Jen. Really appreciate that. Really want to echo Jen's comments in terms of thanking you all for your service and for being here. It's an absolute honor to be able to speak to you all, and I wish you the best in terms of your transition journey. Congratulate you on that, and hopefully you'll enjoy this presentation and what we have to offer at WestRock. So my name is Chris Amato. I've been at WestRock for approximately 11 years in the finance organization, and now I'm actually on a transformational project for the entire company. So I'm a good example of what opportunities can come about when you start with a company like WestRock and find yourself in an exciting opportunity 10, 11 years later, but it wasn't necessarily in your initial career path. So you can go ahead and advance. Thank you, Katie. So WestRock is a leader in innovative, sustainable fiber-based packaging solutions. As you can see by these statistics, we're a large company that, oftentimes isn't well known, but we have a significant the impact on the world and in our country is significantly more than what our name represents. We have approximately $21 billion in revenue and 50,000, almost 60,000 team members across the country. We have leading positions in several end markets and subsets of the paper and packaging industry. And one thing that we like to say is that our packaging enables us to have connections with people. So whether it's pizza boxes that you receive in the mail while watching or receive by when you're watching either the Super Bowl or a Sunday football game or college football, or the folding cartons that you get at Chick-fil-A to share a Chick-fil-A meal with your family. That's the way we like to look at our organization is a company that focuses on innovating boldly, packaging sustainably, but also driving connections between people and our products. You can advance to the next slide, Katie. So I briefly highlighted that our purpose is to innovate boldly and package sustainably. So what this means is thinking innovatively in our organization to how to best solve problems, to reduce waste, to package sustainably, to ensure that we're having the most optimal impact upon our environment and our customers. Our vision is to be the premier partner and unrivaled provider of sustainable winning solutions to our customers. And we want to do this in mind of our people, community, and planet. Briefly discussed this earlier, but being the world's best paper and packaging company is extremely critical to our vision as a company, not only being the best, but then ensuring that we're having positive impacts on our community and driving opportunities such as being able to present in front of you all to obtain your engagement and interest in a company like WestRock. Underpinning that bold vision are our values. I think a lot of these are very prescient in terms of military values as well. So integrity, respect, excellence, and accountability. These are the things that drive us to get better every single day to ensure that we're meeting the needs of our people, our customers, our communities that we work and serve in, as well as the environment. So these are the values that guide us, and it's essentially what ensures that we're on the right path, the true north path to to building that vision of a company that innovates boldly and packages sustainably to be the leading paper and packaging company within the industry. All right, I think it's on to James now.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Again, reiterating, thank you for your service and thank you for what you've done. WestRock has been my family now for about a year and a little bit over 8 days. Prior to that, I was actually in the Army, sitting right in one of those desks. And it's accepted me into their arms as part of the family, and it's just taken off from there. I serve as an HR business partner for 3 different sites: Winston-Salem, Mooresville, and then Richmond, Virginia. And it's definitely a learning experience, but it's been a fun learning experience. Next slide. One of the biggest things within WestRock is we try and maintain 100% safety. A lot of times it's been where traditionally you were always blaming who did it, who made the mistake. We've taken on to an approach where we utilize HOP, human and organizational performance, to identify how was the mistake made and how can we learn from it. We look at focusing on educating, communicating, and instilling a safe area that we can perform in and still allow mistakes to happen, but to learn from them and to prevent them from being so severe that it causes life-changing events that could be catastrophic to somebody's overall life. Next slide. One way we do that is we focus on the people, process, prevention, and performance. We look at what strengths people have, how we engage them, how we talk with them, how we look at a situation and address why it was wrong. Is there a process, is somewhere in the process that a mistake is allowed to occur that shouldn't occur? Maybe we have to refocus that. And then we prevent by educating, assisting, implementing the controls and observing those controls. And then watch the performance, driving engagement and improving those processes through actively ensuring data, from all the sites, all the injuries, anything that's happened. And again, preventing those life-changing events that are so severe that it could be catastrophic. Next slide. One of our other main goals is diversity. We have in our safety culture and our everything is the diversity, inclusion, equity, and belonging. It's making sure that we're all part of the same family. Much like the military, you look at, we come from different diverse cultures, different backgrounds, different countries. As WestRock continues to develop and evolve into a world organization, we are focusing on those diverse backgrounds, those strengths and weaknesses, learning from our peers, our subordinates, all of that comprising and making WestRock what it is. And then one last is our groups. As you transition out of the military, sometimes you take on to the aspect of, I'm going to lose my friends, or I'm going to lose that feeling of belonging. And within WestRock, we have support groups, several of them, as you can see on the screen. One of them, I'm part of quite a few of those. And one of them, of course, is our WVETs, or our Veteran Engagement Team, where we're strengthening our numbers, coming together, showing that we're there to provide support, even if it's to talk things out, or, that missing that moment, or, hey, do you remember back when? And so those little items that actually help you grow, that you may become part of the family within WestRock and become part of those 50,000 plus individuals. And then moving on, I think we're going back over to Chris, I believe.
That's right. Thanks, James. Appreciate that. So a little bit more in terms of, why we are and what we're looking to become in terms of a paper and packaging leader. So you can go ahead and advance, Katie, please. So a lot of stats on this page: 45 million tons of fiber procured. So that's essentially procuring recycled and virgin paperboard to ensure that we've got that for our actual production. We have 31 mills across our organization, and mills are vast buildings that drive significant production with several hundred personnel at those plants, and some may even have in the low thousands. 300 operating facilities, so those are converting locations across the organization. So you can see we have a vertical nature to our business, to where we make the paper and then actually convert it into end products. So we have a very nice integration of that, so that we can serve a full breadth of customers around the world and give our team members across the world opportunities to be exposed to so many different functional areas within the business and within the world. Next slide, please, Katie. So this is a great visual representation. Briefly hit on some of the items and packages that we make. As you can see, it goes all the way on the top left. You see the high-end liquor bottles, which are extremely intensive in terms of the converting process on the end, and the different ways that we make that box as elegant and beautiful as you can see it is. A lot of things we do relate to agricultural products. So just ensuring that we're able to package food sustainably, so that it reaches people across the country and the globe, as it, as we have customers around the world. And we're also very innovative, as you can see. Another one of my favorite ones is here on the top right. I saw one of you all is in the Green Bay, Wisconsin area, or looking to be there. But you can see that there was this really nice display that was made specifically for Green Bay, the Packers, in terms of keeping the score. I think every single week there'd be a new score or promotion or what have you on that. And then finally, just, the nature of the things that you see every day that you don't necessarily know are made by us. We have the pizza boxes, we have the Chick-fil-A boxes, cereal boxes, etc. So we offer a broad range of things that you see behind the scenes, but there is certainly an oversized impact on the overall economy and the world based upon our product offerings. All right, so back to innovating boldly and package sustainably. So the goals are to support people in our communities. James mentioned the resource groups, and part of looking out to the community is based upon bringing people together within the organization in those resource groups, and then going out into those, bettering the planet through our sustainability and protection of the environment initiatives that we have at WestRock, innovating for our customers and their customers. One thing I didn't mention in the previous slide, there's the Coca-Cola cans. There's what's called a can collar. So typically those are plastic, and we've been developing and working with Coca-Cola and other organizations to come up with a paper solution, so that we don't have the waste that's impactful and stays in landfills and potentially can kill animals out in nature. So that's a great example of the sustainability and innovation that we've developed in the partnership to meet the needs of our world. And then this certainly a lot of statistics on this page, but shows you many of the things that we've accomplished and that we're involved with. As you can see, we spent more than $1 billion with small and diverse owned suppliers, which exceeded our goals. A few of us attended a conference here in Atlanta, and we heard a lot about those amazing initiatives. And our organization has helped create 20,000 plus jobs at those smaller organizations, those diverse organizations, which will ultimately result in growth in employment opportunities across the country. As you can imagine, there's a lot of STEM, science, technology, and mathematical type things that roles at WestRock. So obviously trying to cultivate the future with driving initiatives behind that. And of course, you can see some more details on innovating for our customers and their customers, bettering the planet, and also corporate governance. So there's a lot of exciting things going on in those areas, and continuing to build out our breadth and depth of what we offer and can bring to the world. So bettering the planet, we all enjoy accolades and celebrating awards. And as you can see, our efforts are not going unnoticed in terms of how we've bettered the planet, supported communities, and innovated for our customers and their customers. And there's a lot of work that goes on that's not necessarily awarded or seen either. But as you can see, we've been recognized by some pretty amazing organizations: PAC Global, Dow Jones Sustainability Indices, Innovator Awards, Omni Shopper, Paperboard Packaging Council, which is a significant umbrella organization that reports on and supports the overall paper and packaging industry. As you can see, we were listed amongst the 100 best places to work in terms of corporate equality index. So a lot of exciting recognition and things that we're really proud of here at WestRock, and looking forward to continuing to drive and improve on. And then here's a QR code to read our sustainability report. And as we get more, our country and the world gets more into the reporting and ensuring that we're following our environmental, social, and governance practices, this is certainly probably something that would be worth reading through if you're interested in that and how WestRock's involved in it. But that's all I had. I really appreciate your time, and I'll pass it on to Jen.
Great, thanks, Chris. So WestRock is committed to building a workforce skilled in modern manufacturing. And because of this, we make strategic investments to increase the awareness of jobs and hone the skills required for a successful career in our industry. Next slide. Manufacturing operations. People play a vital role at WestRock in connecting people to products. And because of this, we have a lot of different types of career opportunities across the company in various departments. We have opportunities in engineering, operations, maintenance, and this is everything from your operators on the line to the technicians fixing the equipment, all the way up to our supervisors, managers, and directors of these processes. Next slide. Innovation. Opportunities in paper, packaging, and machinery innovation. We have labs and a pilot plant where we produce new products for customers. WestRock also has packaging and machinery innovation centers. We employ packaging designers where we have structural and graphic design professionals. Our consumer insights group works closely with our customers on packaging solutions. And we have a machinery innovation group. Next slide. Functional roles. We have functional roles that speak to various types of positions. We have positions that are available in the field. We don't grow our trees in the US, but we do in Brazil. Our forestry group works with foresters in the field to understand the fibers and their capabilities. We also have positions in IT, finance, human resources, supply chain, safety, and environmental, just to name a few. Next slide. We have several career progression opportunities for transitioning service members and veterans completing their degrees post-military service. We hire a lot of people into entry-level types of opportunities across the organization. So entry-level opportunities would include your internships, co-ops, summer students, and part-time positions. We also have a management trainee program, and we hire a lot of transitioning military into these roles. This program is approximately a 12 to 18-month program. We target backgrounds in operations, logistics, and/or maintenance. A typical day in the life of a management trainee is spent learning about people, processes, prevention, and performance. These are processes that go into making a product safely, within quality parameters, and at a cost that is market competitive. The management trainee program, that individual will rotate through various functions of the area, typically spending 6 months to a year and an assigned function which provides exposure and knowledge to various areas of the business. The intent of the program is to identify an area of the business that will engage the individual in their career aspirations. Our trainee program has current openings in the US, across the nation. And this year, WestRock was approved by the DoD to start the Warriors to WestRock Skill Bridge program. This is a 90-day training program, which closely aligns with the management trainee program, but is an accelerated curriculum. And we also hire experienced service members into professional roles that are full-time positions. And all of our teammates will get exposure into various types of facilities and roles within the organization. They get advancement opportunities within their area of interest. There are opportunities to participate in project teams focused on performance excellence and safety. We also give them an opportunity to access courses to enhance technical skills and personal and professional development. When I think about all the people that we hire at WestRock, I think about hiring people that fit our company culture. We have the tools available to teach the technical skills if you have those transferable characteristics. And you do, because you learn those characteristics in the military, like proven leadership, mission-focused, adaptable, strong work ethic, integrity, and loyalty. These are the most important characteristics that we look for when we hire new teammates across the nation. And this is why we turn to the military and veteran community to recruit and hire for positions at WestRock. We have many veterans that work for WestRock all over the US, and we are ready to mentor, guide, and help to onboard fellow veterans. That is the mission of our veteran engagement team, WVET. We are not just a veteran-friendly company, we are a veteran-ready company. We are prepared and ready to bring in more veterans into our company because we know what value you generate. So Katie, before we get into Q&A, we do have a few of our teammates on the line, and I'd like for them to give just a quick introduction of themselves and maybe some opportunities that they have available in their area of the business. I think I'll start with James Gopperts.
Hey, hello everybody again. And so, like I said, I am the HRBP for Mooresville, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, and then also Richmond. I have been looking at some of the chats, and I do see somebody is looking for a Charlotte area. And I'm going to go through and kind of take a look at what we have available for that. And then world's your oyster. Biggest thing is don't get stuck with where you want to go. Sometimes you have to go to where the job is. You've been doing it now with the military, and it was the easiest one I did. So never been to Mooresville until I came and accepted the job.
Thanks, James. On the line, we also have Bob Charleston.
Thanks, Jen. Appreciate that. And as we've said before, I want to thank everyone on this call for their service to our country. So certainly appreciate that. I also served in the Army as an armor and cavalry officer a few years ago. So I lead the continuous improvement team that supports all 29 of our paper mills around the world. And we're adding people to our team, people in the project engineering, anyone who has some continuous improvement background. If you've been through yellow or green belt training, any of those kinds of things, we'd like to talk to you and see what the geography is and what the components are. Many of our positions are based in our paper mills, but also we have a lot of positions that are not, and you could live anywhere. So if that matches your profile, if you like where you currently live, and that's not necessarily a location where WestRock has an operating facility today, we could still have a good conversation, depending on what your other capabilities and your skill set is. So thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate the opportunity to say hello and turn it back to Jen.
Okay, great. And then Chris Amato.
Thanks, Jen. So no positions right now, but I know that you and I have talked some about opportunities that may be coming in the future in terms of transformational project work at WestRock. So certainly something to keep in mind as we move forward.
Okay, great. All right. And Katie, I will give it back to you.
Sure, perfect. Well, I brought everyone back on for our panel, our Q&A panel. So I'll leave our WestRock team up. I will put a plug. So for our participants on the call right now, the chat box is where you're at right now. So if you have any questions for the team, please go ahead and type them into the chat box and I'll read them off. But I also will want to afford you the opportunity to come on and ask your question live. So if you do have a question that you want to ask, under the reaction tab on your panel for Zoom, there is a raise hand feature. So you can use a little raise hand feature and raise your hand if you do have a question. If not, throw it in the chat box. I'll go ahead and read it off. I will start by asking a couple questions because sometimes we need to just get the ball rolling as we start to think through different things. So one, Jen, I know there's probably a lot of questions that are going to be about the management trainee program that you just spoke about, especially because a lot of our service members, want to go into that level right off the bat. And you had mentioned, there's locations all over the country. Can you just expand even more on that program? Is there a specific way for them to apply? Is there anything for them to be aware of when they are applying? Can you kind of just go over that one more time?
Absolutely. The management trainee program, we do target a specific background. So operations, logistics, maybe maintenance, maybe even quality or safety. But that program is anywhere from 12 to 18 months long. You get to learn a lot of different aspects of our business, which is fantastic because you rotate through those. The positions, yes, are in different facilities across the US, and they are posted in our Career Center for the most part. Unless something is coming available, then I kind of have that firsthand knowledge. We do look for really E5, maybe E6 up through JMO levels because we are looking for your supervisory management experience. Because once we teach you our business, we're going to rely on those skills that you learned through the military to catapult you into that role. So I hope that helps a little bit. Oh, James, did you want to share that you have one open now?
Yeah, I've actually got a management trainee position open and is not actually fully posted because, like Jen said, it's trying to find that right person that's got that dedication, the expertise and the drive. Because it is a 12 to 18 month program, it is focusing on covering all aspects of the WestRock universe. And so you get a little bit of education all across from customer service through the converting, corrugation, sales, customer service, and so forth. So if you're interested, like I said, it's in Winston-Salem. I don't see anybody that was kind of looking for Winston, but it is available. And I've got a gentleman that hopefully January 8th will be starting as my management trainee down in Mooresville. And I met him at the last hiring event in Fort Liberty. So,
Katie, I hope that answered some of your questions.
It did. Yeah. You just know that that's something that a lot of service members are looking for is to go that level of position. I guess along that same line, if they were not to do the management trainee program, is there opportunity for someone to go into a leadership position directly, or is it more common to kind of promote from within? And that could be for any of you.
I would say that's twofold. We do have a leadership program as well, and we look to certain ranks for those roles. Those are usually your JMO levels and higher, but we do promote from within. Like I said, we really pride on ourselves in teaching the business because there are a lot of industry knowledge that makes it even more important to reach that next level. But in some of our more professional roles like HR or IT related, you come to the table with some of that experience, then obviously, you would be considered for those types of roles.
Perfect.
And
I
I'd like to
appreciate
add a little bit to that if I
Yeah.
can. I end up saying this a lot to every group that we talk to, and even folks that are serving on active duty. The first thing is, you know a lot more than you may think you know. The easiest thing for us to do is to teach you how to make paper or how to make a corrugated container. The tough part, you already have experienced. You know how to take care of people, you know how to take care of equipment, and you have the drive and the energy and the passion to get things done. Those three attributes are very difficult for us to teach. Fortunately, you all are coming into the labor pool with those skills. And like I said, the easiest thing we can do is help you understand the specifics of a position. I was in that boat, quite a while ago. We didn't have services like this one. And you're kind of fishing, in the dark, not really sure what you're getting into. I came out of the Army and went into plastic manufacturing. I knew nothing about it, but my department very quickly became the highest performing department in our whole corporation. And it was only because of the skills and the experience that I had when I was in the military. So you know a lot more than you think you know. And please let that open your mind to what types of opportunities there are. And I think perhaps the following question to what Jen answered is, you may not necessarily see a lateral role or an advanced position from where you currently are, and in many ways that's to your favor. If we put you directly, let's say from a first sergeant position right into becoming a plant manager, you'd probably fail, because you need to take the time to understand and learn the pieces of the business so that you can be successful at higher levels of responsibility. And that's key. Even for our frontline leaders, you may come into a leadership position, but to your advantage, we may have you work on the floor for a while, just so you understand the workflow, the terminology, and just the key components of whatever business that you're looking to get involved in. So this is a great group. I love having opportunities to talk like this. And Jen or Brooke, I think it might be, I don't know if you're going to do it later, but help everybody understand what the next step is.
We can come, I'll definitely come back to that, the next steps on how to apply and the job and the career page and all that. But Bob, I had a follow-up question. Just, I don't want to lose where you were just talking about the skill sets that these folks are coming out with from the military and letting that shine. We talk about that in class, and as you talk with service members, we can talk through that, right? But when someone applies via an online application, what is, from your team, your best advice of how to get that across, that they have these skills and abilities when they're just a name on a piece of paper on a file that's submitted online? So what's your guys'
That's a great
advice?
question. And that's challenging, and it's probably a little bit different for different people. If you have a IT background or an HR background or finance background, those are going to be a little bit unique. But as you're building your resume, ensure that you have the key words that correspond to the responsibility that you have. How many people do you lead? How many people are you responsible for? And it may come out more in an interview, but you could certainly place it into your resume of, what kind of challenging situations have you been in? We deal with chaos and challenging environments, every day. And that's one of the things that, we want to put our thumbprint on is this somebody that can handle a difficult situation or handle, a variety of different things that may happen in the middle of the night or something like that. That's a forehand shot for you guys. I mean, you all have that type of experience, especially if you've been in the military more than a year or two. So I'd highlight those. Any specific training you have, Like I said earlier, if you've been through green belt training, black belt training, if you've been through any of the supply chain certification programs, I mean, all those, anything like that, make sure that you display that prominently.
So thanks, Bob. From the team, any other pieces of advice when they're applying that you would recommend that they can set themselves apart during that process?
So I'll chime in on this one. Like Bob was saying, your skills that you don't realize you have that you do have, make those stand out. If you're applying for any position that is maybe a contractor with the military, they might be concerned about what clearance you have. In the civilian side of things, it's not so much that you have a clearance. So identify those skills, those positions, look at them holistically of how it relates to that job. And that's one of those biggest things that stands out for me, because as I go through looking at the resume, especially for a bunch of my salary positions, those are the things that stand out to me. You know, how is your resume built? How, what skills have you developed through your military time, and how you related them to that position that you were filling. It's not just necessarily the MOS or the job that you were performing, but it's all those additional skills that Bob and Katie and everybody's been going back to.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I know that's, and you went through this, James, right? Going through that first, let's get my foot in the door. I got to get my name across to get to that interview.
Yes, if you got a second, I can tell my story real quick.
Sure.
And
Yeah, let's do that.
shout out to Fort Cavos, Fort Hood, and Marvin. That's where I was actually at doing My Heroes Make America back in 2002 or 2022. So I applied for a production supervisor position. I thought, you know, I came out as a master sergeant, 25 years, 10 months and 21 days in. And so I was looking at a production supervisor, something to get out of the admin side, because I've been doing 42 Alpha for my entire career, 75 hotel prior, and then 42 Alpha. So I was trying to find something different. And with that, I created my resume, focusing on that job, that production supervisor, what skills I had that related to that understanding of it. Now, mind you, the only thing I knew about WestRock was whenever I sat through this exact same meeting with Bob, Jen, and a couple of the other military vets, and it was that 6-pack of Coke. That's what got me for WestRock, was that. So I was like, I want to do that. And so I applied, and first time around, didn't hear anything. So I applied again. And that second time that I applied, I started getting a phone call from the salary hiring person saying, hey, I see you've got some HR background. Would you be considered taking that position? Because I couldn't change the title, senior HR manager, stuff like that for Brigade S1. And so I couldn't change those titles, and that's what it was in the civilian side. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll consider it. And next thing you know, my boss calling me, very happy, very joyful. Hey, we got these positions. Are you willing to go to North Carolina? I was like, I'll go anywhere you want me to go. You know, we did that in the military. And next thing you know, I'm flying, or I'm doing a panel interview with all veterans. It was veterans on the interview. And so they understood and could relate to how I was speaking, because I still had military jargon and I didn't know how to speak civilian. And then I'm flying out. They got a rental car. I'm seeing the plant, seeing how things are done. And it's an industry that you really don't realize. You go to CIF and they throw your stuff in a box, or you're getting stuff from supply. There's the boxes there, but you don't think about how they're made. You know, ordering a pizza, that goes down in the trash. If you go by the barracks, there's tons of them on the weekend. But you don't focus on those things. And so I was like, I was enthralled. I loved it. And so I came back, and literally on my birthday, my boss Lisa was calling me and saying, hey, we're going to make you an offer. And I was like, I accepted the offer, finished up things. Thanksgiving weekend, we came out this way, and officially retired 30 November, and then started working for WestRock on 5 December.
I love it, James.
Let me add one other thing if I can,
Yeah.
Katie. Jen mentioned it earlier. We have a process that helps veterans belong and connect with other veterans. We have different resource groups across the company at WestRock that focus on different demographics and different lifestyles. We have a veterans engagement team, as Jen mentioned. I'm one of the co-chairs of that team, and that goes back about 3.5 years since when we started. Chris Amato, who presented earlier, Chris is one of our co-chairs as well. So, and we have another co-chair who just finished 30 years in the Army, and I think last February got out and left the Army as a sergeant major, and now is working in our learning and development group. So, anybody that's been in the Army for a while, you understand learning and development. You call it training, we call it learning and development. So there's always those kind of matches. But inside our veterans engagement team, we have built a network where veterans can connect with each other. So we're doing several different things. Jen Allen is on our team, one of the key leadership roles. Her mission is to go out and help us attract and hire veterans and bring them into our workforce. We have a very specific and very engaged executive leadership team. And every time I see our CEO or our CFO or our head HR officer, they're asking me, hey, how's it going with hiring veterans? Because there's a recognized capability. Not every company has that. WestRock is still building, but we've made incredible progress in recognizing what that capability is. So our veterans group helps people join, helps people onboard, and then we stay together. Think of it somewhat as a buddy system. And as a group, we try our best to help develop veterans and ensure that they're getting a good, fair look at advancement positions and getting into some of the quick leadership channels that we've begun to create. So we've got veterans all over the company. Many of them now are in leadership roles. Our chief financial officer came out of the Navy. I give him a hard time, kind of that Army Navy thing, but we have a great network of people connected through our veterans engagement group.
Great plug, Bob. I love that because I think the ERGs are an area where folks may not think that that's an attractive quality of a company, but once they get to that company and realize that support system is in place, makes or breaks an experience, especially as a new employee. So I definitely love that you touched on that. I do want to there was a question in the chat box. I don't know if this is able to be shared, but Jen, if you're able to share it, or anyone, is there a payment scale for the management trainee program that you're able to share?
I'll answer to that one. So we cannot disclose what the actual rate is, but it typically is in the mid to high 5 figures. It's generally along the lines of a supervisor position, because as you develop this management trainee, they're kind of in that supervisory role. But again, I can't disclose the actual rates for it, and it's dependent upon the locations. Not necessarily, Winston might have a higher cost of living versus somewhere else.
Perfect, but good thing to know, it is competitive pay. So it is an attractive competitive pay. Perfect. I love that. So I was looking through, see if there's any other questions in the chat box. I didn't see any. We do have a couple more minutes. Brooke, I wanted to turn to you just because give you a chance to talk, because we have some veterans that are retirees, 20+ years like James was, but then we also have folks that are young, right? They've only served their first term, 3-4 year contract, and they're coming out and they're still on that early career side. Can you talk a little bit more about your area and positions and anything you want to focus on your site?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And for those that may be say returning to school, or completing a degree, 2-year, 4-year, whatever it is that you're thinking of completing, we want to make sure we're giving individuals an opportunity to get some hands-on experience in our operation, either through an internship or a co-op. So, if you're still in school, but you want to get some experience in manufacturing, we do have those types of opportunities. So I know my contact information is in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to provide more information on what those opportunities look like. We have them throughout the year. So summer internship, we have spring terms and fall terms, something that may work with your school schedule and give you an opportunity, like I said, just to get some hands-on experience if you're interested in getting into our operations that way.
Perfect. Thank you, Brooke. Yeah, because I always have some folks who are going back to school and they're like, this is all great. And I want to go into manufacturing, but I want to get my degree. So this is a perfect way for them to go into industry.
So yeah, and let me highlight a couple of those types of areas that we focus on. So, I mean, it could be engineering, it could be finance, technology, IT, cybersecurity. We're doing, we have internships for those as well. If, upon graduation, we have some rotational programs. So to continue your development, those are pretty great because it gives you like 1 to 2 years to kind of continue your development in a specific field. So if I missed something, supply chain, we're kicking off a supply chain program. We have internships in that area as well. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
And don't forget the FAME program.
Well, of course, James. Right. So as I mentioned, the 2-year, thanks. Keep me honest, James. If you are maybe going back to school, interested in completing or just even completing an associate's degree, we have an apprenticeship program. So this would give you an opportunity, which was mentioned in the video that you all saw at the beginning. And it gives you an opportunity to work part-time in a WestRock operation while going to school. And the goal there is a Manufacturing Institute program, giving you the opportunity to not only complete that associate's degree, but work towards a position in our operation. So mainly, technical type or skilled roles, maintenance type positions. But yeah, we've got multiple sites that have activated a partnership with FAME. And James is a good point of contact for that as well. We've been partnering on that. So yeah, excited that we have different opportunities depending on where you are in your journey. Hopefully we have something to offer you that is going to be fulfilling for you.
And one thing we should have mentioned is, we have, I said, we got a lot of paper mills, and our paper mills range from 400 to 1,000 people. These are big campuses, but we also have 350 ish converting plants. So these are manufacturing plants, like James was describing where he is. We have these plants usually close to our big customers, and they're all over the country. So we have many different places where we could potentially fit somebody.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Brooke. I guess moral of the story is there are a lot of locations. WestRock is massive. There are all different levels of positions that are available, whether you're early career or 20 plus years military. So there's all different types of things that can happen and places for folks to land in a company like WestRock. With all that being said, that's a lot to digest for someone who's trying to job search. So what would be your best piece of advice? Is there someone who maybe one of these folks can maybe call Jen? Can they call you and ask, maybe some of these questions, can you help me understand what would be a best fit? James, can I call you? What would be the best fit for me based off of my experience? Is that something that these guys can go ahead and reach out to you for, or what would you recommend as next steps?
Yes, absolutely. So I think my information as well as the panel was dropped into chat. I'll be happy to answer any questions offline about the company or opportunities that fit in line with their skills, experience, education, location, you name it. So would definitely love to connect them to careers with WestRock.
Perfect. Well, thank you all so much. I know we're already out of time. That was a quick hour. So I guess I'm just going to afford one last opportunity. Any last piece of advice or words of wisdom from the WestRock team before we close out the event today?
Don't give up. Biggest thing is in this industry, you might get a lot of rejects or rejections for your at resumes or the job. Don't give up. I sent 30 resumes out, but I didn't give up, and you guys can do the same.
Perfect. Thank you, James. Any other, I don't want to cut anyone off. WestRock, we're all good. All right, let's do some next steps. We're closing out here today. So next steps, reach out to these folks. They've given you their contact information. They're a great resource for you. So make sure you explore the WestRock career page. It has it's a great tool because it breaks it down by job function area. You can search by location. Explore that website, and then I would give Jen a call, right? So do your homework, look at the website, kind of have an idea of where you want to go, types of positions, things like that, but then have that conversation with her to help narrow it down, okay? Follow WestRock on LinkedIn, follow Heroes Make America on LinkedIn, connect with our team, connect with the WestRock team. But thank you all for joining us today, right? So lots of next steps moving in to the end of the year and hopefully find some employment coming up here soon. That's it for today. The last thing is, don't forget we have a career fair on February 23rd. That is our first one for 2024. We hope to see you there. Just follow us on LinkedIn. We'll give you that link once it goes live in January. So again, thank you to the WestRock team. You guys are fantastic. Love your presentation every time. But that's a wrap. You all have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Good seeing you, James. I want
You
to
too,
see a
Marvin.
beard. I want to see a beard on that picture next time, man. You still
I
look like a
gotta
baby.
still, that's my one from the Christmas party from like 3 years ago. So I gotta get the beard just right.